This is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on the Voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160, 101.1 FM, and it's time now for another interview segment presented by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And of course, school continuing to go on in the Indiana School District, and joining me on the phone right now is Michael Minich, principal of Indiana Junior High. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, Josh. Thank you for having me this morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you as well, sir. And we were talking a little bit off mic, and you said that you are especially thankful for the fact that the school is still open, still educating students at this time, even now that we're going into the second grading quarter of what's going to be probably a very different school year.
No doubt about it. I start each day somewhat in amazement that we've been able to remain open, but it's due in large part to the commitment both from our consumer community, that is our families, the parents and guardians who are taking measures to ensure that their children are healthy and safe. Our team here at the school has taken measures to sustain, to the best of our ability, the social distancing. We're wearing masks. We're doing temperature screenings every day, and despite the public school setting, we've had a commitment to safety, and it's been a very unusual year. But our ongoing work and commitment to maintain a safe school environment, I think, has in large part been the reason that we've been able to remain open. I look around at the schools surrounding our area that are announcing temporary closures, and it's amazing that here we are better than midway through October, and we're still going strong. So I hope that continues, but I also want to encourage people to be prepared if something should shift, because we're not immune to this virus.
Right, definitely things can change at the drop of a hat. We've seen that over the past few weeks with, again, other districts, but Indiana has been definitely keeping prepared and remaining prepared in case the worst does happen, and the worst hasn't happened yet as far as we know. But again, it's just an attempt for everybody to be ready, be prepared for anything. And you've even said it yourself. You're encouraging students to make sure that all their materials that they'll need are brought home with them every night in case things change.
That's correct. Last year when we had the closure, we had to go to great lengths to return items that students left behind, as well as provide items to help support their synchronous learning or distance learning at that time. So we are encouraging our families just to stay apprised with Teachers Google Classrooms at the secondary level. We're really fortunate that we have our classrooms across the board are set up on Google Classrooms, so assignments are being posted, and this supports our synchronous learning program, and that pretty much touches the majority of our students. We do have some kids that are in our cyber program, which is asynchronous, but preparation for a shift just includes bringing your materials home every night, making sure that you're logging in and staying up to date with the nuances of a Google Classroom, where to find assignments, where to look out ahead for important dates, how to contact people if you have questions, and then all of the supplementary resources that our curriculum offers too. So just being prepared is making sure that we're staying plugged into those digital resources, and making sure that the hands-on resources are carried back and forth every day.
One of the things that we were talking about also just before we went on the air was, I believe it was something concerning academic vocabulary, and it sounds like something that you're actually very proud of, the fact that has been progressing pretty well at Indiana Junior High.
Our superintendent, as well as our board, emphasizes academic growth year in and year out, and we're always looking for ways to get stronger and better. So with that in mind, literacy has been an ongoing goal, and one component of expanding upon the success we've had with our English and literature classes is the implementation of a new program called WordGen. We were the recipient of a grant this past year, and we're implementing this program, and it's applicable across all content areas. So the importance of literacy and speaking and reading and listening skills, writing skills, that touches upon every subject that we offer here. So this new program, WordGen, we sent out a letter yesterday, just put it on an email blast out to the community. It not only expands upon students' academic vocabulary, which makes them hopefully make deeper connections within every content area, increasing that content area's relevance and a student's personal connection with that content area. It absolutely could lead into not only greater speaking, listening, writing skills, but also might spark a career path interest. Who knows what could come from just greater vocabulary in a specific content area. But that's our hope, is to continue to build upon students' academic vocabulary and all the good things that come from that across all content areas.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine this would be not just in the English classes and the literature classes, but maybe classes that it's been a while since I've gone to Indiana Junior High, but when I was there, I did take a public speaking class. So that would also come into play as well with the vocabulary expansion program.
Absolutely. There are folders within this program for every subject that we offer here. From English to literature, mm-hmm. mathematics, history, science. They all have academic vocabulary, but those also trickle and sort of cross over into areas like tech ed and art and music, family consumer sciences, health and phys ed, business computer technology. These are all content areas that require the speaking, the reading, the listening, the writing, and the more a student can really talk the talk of a given content area, they become experts in that content area, and hopefully it drives up their own growth and learning, and perhaps their passion or their individual strengths, which leads into another area that we talked about prior to going on air.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So let's talk about now. What are some of the things that other things that parents and students are, I guess we can say, experiencing going through during this time? And I know that you've got some special events coming up probably in the near future.
Well, the one thing that I really want to talk about this morning, the junior high in the past 5 to 6 years has been investing in the Gallup Strengths Finder, and we started on it. I do believe that an educator, the more centered they are, the more grounded they are and aware of their individual strengths, the more confident and effective they are when they're standing in front of their students and helping them find their strengths and find their pathways that they want to pursue in their life. But Gallup was really more designed for the adults, and although they did have a student program, it was tailored mainly for adults. We found a program this off season in the summer called Thrively, and Thrively is going to be our new version of the Student's Strength Finder, and it's going to support our positive behavior instruction and support program. That's a school-wide program that started out at the primary buildings here and has expanded into the 4-5s, and now it's going to be launched at the junior high later this year. Mm-hmm. Thrively will touch every individual student in the way that they will be assessed on what their natural gifts and strengths are based on the feedback that they get from individual assessments. And those strengths can range from, like you said, public speaking or collaborating or natural charisma and winning others over, having presence or having an ability to activate a game plan or to strategize a game plan, whatever that may be. And those really spark conversations and discussion that heightens every individual's sense of place in a school setting. And at this age, that's huge because kids are coming into their own. They're understanding that they do belong and that they are valued and important. Having a tool that's a third-party tool to emphasize that is invaluable. So I'm really looking forward to that launching and supporting our PBIS, as well as supporting the career readiness that our guidance counselors are continuously promoting and rolling out through their curriculum.
Mm-hmm, definitely. I remember those that as well out of my junior high days, talking with the guidance counselors about career guidance and things like that. So those are things that I guess are just coming up. They're right down the pike, and they're coming probably sooner than we realize because of the distractions we've had of COVID-19 and things like that. Go ahead.
I was going to say that personal connection. I really appreciate that. Do you remember what age you decided you wanted to get into media and journalism? Was it junior high, or was it a little bit later?
It was a little bit later. I was still very much into acting when I was in the junior high, but I then realized that I had this talent for broadcasting in my senior high days. But I will say it got started in junior high because I had Mrs. Clark and Mrs. Duffy back then, and they both taught this public speaking class.
That's fantastic.
So I can say that it started there. The seed was planted there, and it grew as my educational career went on.
That's fantastic. And we hopefully have some budding broadcasters and journalists. Every morning we do morning announcements, and students take rotations through that where they're on camera, and we're upgrading our technology to create live streams like our senior high school does, so that the community can see our morning announcements from a YouTube live stream. Right now we're waiting a couple of parts, but we've been doing that and hopefully sparking an interest for future broadcasters and future journalists with various medias. But this is the age where it's possible. Kids don't think about their careers necessarily, but they can certainly resonate with their personal strengths when they have a third-party assessment. And we've had a lot of success really engaging kids in that way. And so I'm excited to have a much better product to share with our students.
Mike, we are at the mark, but I tell you what, thank you very much for joining us once again here on Indiana in the Morning. Can't wait to hear from you next month.
It's my pleasure. It's very much an honor and a privilege to be able to do this, and I greatly appreciate the work you do and the support you show of our school and the surrounding schools. It's such creative, important work that we do, and we can't do it alone. The partnership with the community and with your station promoting the things we do is invaluable, so thank you.
All right, thanks again. That is Michael Minich of Indiana Junior High School joining us on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Our interview is presented by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people.